Hello friends, it's Evelyn here. Welcome back to my channel. As always, I'd like to begin the video by saying a huge thank you to everyone who is supporting me. It means the world to me. This week, I'm really excited to bring you the very first episode of a series I am calling Bake to the Future, where I take us through some traditional and vintage recipes and get us all baking and cooking. In this episode, I would like to teach you how to make traditional homemade Italian pizzas. Yes, that's right. This week, we're going to get into some pizza making. And one of the best things about making your own pizza at home is not only is it incredibly cost effective, great fun to do with your family and friends, and only takes 4 ingredients, but you can put whatever you want on your pizza. Yes, that's right, let's get that ham and pineapple debate going. So without further ado, let's get our hair back in some messy buns and some plaits, and let's get to some pizza making. So let's get started. You will need a measuring jug, some weighing scales, a mixing bowl, a wooden spoon and a teaspoon. For ingredients, this is a wonderful cost-effective project. All we need is some lukewarm water, some salt, some dried yeast and some strong white flour. It's imperative that we use strong white flour here rather than plain flour. Add to this any toppings that you wish to put onto your pizza. For each pizza, you will need approximately 135 grams of flour, half a teaspoon of salt, half a teaspoon of dried yeast, and 100 milliliters of lukewarm water. To make our dough, first start by measuring out your strong flour. Next, using your measuring jug, add your dried yeast and salt to the lukewarm water, stirring until it is dissolved and combined. Using your wooden spoon, create a well in the centre of your flour. Pour in your water, yeast and salt mixture, and using that wooden spoon, begin to combine it all together. When combined, your dough should look something like this. On a well-floured surface, it is now time to knead our pizza dough. And as I always say, please make sure you're being kind to yourself. A lot of the time I cannot do this step by myself because of my painful joints and hands. However, today I gave it a good go, and ironically, using your hands can also help to keep them mobile, despite the fact this can cause me some pain. But on this occasion, I did a really good job kneading this dough, and I'm actually pretty proud of myself. that your pizza dough is nice and well kneaded, pop it back into your mixing bowl and cover it with a towel to allow it to prove. I tend to let this sit for about 5 hours, and when it has proved, it will have risen to look something like this. Preheat your oven to 200 degrees, 180 for a fan oven or gas mark 6, placing your pizza trays into warm. Take your dough to a well-floured surface, portioning it into the amount of pizzas you are making. Using a rolling pin, let's get to rolling out that dough. Give yourself some time here. It can take some patience and some practice, but it is enormous fun to do with the family. When I am happy with how the dough is rolled out, I fold it over the rolling pin to make it easier to place onto my baking tray. Taking the preheated trays out of the oven, I place the dough over the tray like so. Again, be patient with yourself here. This can take some practice. Now comes my family's favourite part, covering your pizza with whatever topping you decide. And that is one of the best things about creating your own homemade pizza. Nothing is out of bounds. If you want to use ketchup for your sauce like my daughter, go ahead. If you want to cover it with mushrooms, go ahead. Veggie friendly, go ahead. This pizza is even vegan friendly. How fantastic is that? Pop your wonderful pizza creations into the preheated oven for approximately 20 to 30 minutes. And you will have created something absolutely delicious like this. How incredible do these look? And how about those of us that are gluten-free? It's taken me quite a while to master this, but I am so excited to share this with you. For each thin crust gluten-free pizza, you will need approximately 100 grams of gluten-free white bread flour. Try getting a blend that includes xanthan gum. If your blend does not, you will also need half a teaspoon of this to act as a binding agent. To this, you also need 1 teaspoon of dry yeast, half a teaspoon of sugar, half a teaspoon of salt, approximately 2 fluid ounces of lukewarm water, and 1 tablespoon of vegetable or olive oil. The methodology is much the same as our regular pizzas. Start by adding your salt, sugar, and yeast to the lukewarm water, stirring until it has all dissolved. Add this water mixture to your flour blend using a wooden spoon to combine the two to create your pizza dough. When the water and flour are nicely combined, then it's time to add your olive or vegetable oil. There is no need to knead this dough, simply use your wooden spoon and then your hands to mix it well and shape it into a ball. Place the dough into a container to allow it to prove. My top tip for this gluten-free pizza dough is to refrigerate it for 15 minutes before you knead it. This will really help you when you come to roll it out. Taking the chilled dough from the refrigerator, it's now time to roll it, and I've found that having a layer of greaseproof paper really helps with this too. For best results, cook your base before adding the toppings for 15 minutes in the centre of a preheated oven, and you will have something that looks a bit like this. And now it's time for the toppings. And doesn't this look great? When you have completed your toppings, pop your gluten-free pizza back into that preheated oven for 15 to 20 minutes, and you will have something like this. How incredible does this look? It really took me some time and some trial and error to create the perfect gluten-free pizza recipe, and I'm happy to say that I think I have nailed it. This pizza finally actually tastes like pizza, and I really enjoy eating it. Not content with just showing you this pizza recipe, I'm going to show you how to create potato dip chips. This tasty side dish is perfect to use those potatoes that you might have forgotten about. Firstly, I am going to start by washing the potatoes. Next, chop the potatoes into slices like this, or in my case, get the husband to do it. Parboil the potato slices until they begin to soften, then draining them of water. Place the drained potato slices into a mixing bowl with a few tablespoons of oil. Using a spoon, mix the potato slices through the oil so they become covered in it. At this point, you could also add a few herbs and maybe some sea salt or cracked black pepper too. Pour your potato slices onto a baking tray in a single layer and bake in a hot oven until they are lovely and golden brown like this. So there you have it. Add your favourite sauces and you have the perfect side dish for your homemade pizzas. So there you have it, friends, a really fun, easy and affordable traditional Italian pizza recipe. I hope you give this a go and let me know if you do in the comments below. I absolutely love connecting with all of you. But until next week, bye bye.